turn on?
Can you see it on the...
Nope.
Okay. Rob still can't see the service on the YouTube channel.
So can you come and help Rob get on? Can't hear me.
Oh, there we go. Got it now.
Got it.
Good morning and welcome to our starter for 10 this morning. My name's Jill Hawkins and I'm joined on my left by Steve Elms.
Hi, good morning.
And on my right by Rob Stevens.
Good morning.
So Rob is connecting online. So if you get any answer to the question that we're going to pose or you want to send in a comment, then just join us on the YouTube channel and send in your comments, and Rob will be gathering those up. And Steve is going to bring our high five in a few minutes. But for now, we're going to start by posing our question for the morning. Steve, what is the question?
Okay, thanks, Jill. Yeah, the question for the morning is about those moments of letting go in our lives. So can you maybe share a moment where you had to let go in some way? So if I kick off, just to give an example.
Go for it, definitely.
So this goes right back to when I was in my early 20s, maybe late teens. I was on a holiday in Cornwall with some friends, and we were on the seafront, standing on some rocks, and the sea was quite kind of lively, actually. The waves were coming in and landing on the rocks. And we were playing a game where we took it in turns to, each one of us would stand with our back to the sea on the edge of the rocks, with the waves coming. And then when a really big wave was set to come, we relied on our friends to say, it's time to move. And we were allowed to have about 3 or 4 seconds just to move out of the way. So so for me, I remember that there was a real feeling of letting go of my own personal control, and if you like, entrusting my safety or my dryness to my friends. So that was a kind of a letting go moment for me.
That's a little bit of a scary one for me. I think being brought up by a man who, my dad came from the far northeast of Scotland. He always used to say, "You never turn your back on the sea." You never turn, because I think obviously it can be really unpredictable, can't it, the sea? Now, Rob, what about you? You got a story about letting go?
Well, similarly, I can remember of a time when I was younger and we were at the top of a very steep mountain, and we were encouraged to get our bivvy bags out, our survival bags out of our rucksacks, and to sit on top of them and to slide all the way down to the bottom of the mountain into a bog at the bottom, which was actually great fun, but it took a certain amount of courage just to sort of let yourself go and just to let yourself slide all the way down.
I think to get an adrenaline rush, you have to be able to get over that little, when I'm skiing, I often think, oh, that looks quite steep, and then let go. I think my story, though, is a bit more of a relational one. When we moved to Brazil, being someone that I think is very steeped in my own culture, I didn't realise how my own norms sort of controlled me. And I was really amazed when I went there how touchy they really were. They loved to hug, kiss, stroke your hair, tell you how lovely you looked. And really, it's very different to Britain. And I found that I had either to resist that and sort of feel kind of offended and invaded a lot, or just sort of let go and enjoy it. And I actually grew over the 6 years to really enjoy it. I got quite used to being told how lovely I am. So yeah, that was definitely a letting go of my own culture, as there were lots of those in our time in Brazil. So we're going to move now while you think about your letting go stories, we're going to move to our band. We've got Luke Hamlin with us this morning and his band, and he is going to bring us a song. He's going to explain why he chose it to start with. Luke, over to you.
Good morning. So as we think today about the love of God and the fact that he is for us and with us, we're going to sing a song called Good Grace, which celebrates that love for us and reminds us that our strength and our hope is in Jesus, and we rest in his grace. So let's sing together. People come together, strangers, neighbors, our blood is one. Children of generations, of every nation, of kingdom come. Don't let your heart be troubled. Hold your head up high, don't fear no evil. Fix your eyes on this one truth: God is madly in love with you. So take courage, hold on, be strong. Remember where your help comes from. Jesus, our redemption, our salvation is in his blood, yeah. Jesus, lights of heaven, friend forever, his kingdom come. So don't let your heart be troubled. Hold your head up high, don't fear no evil. Fix your eyes on this one truth: God is madly in love with you. So take courage, hold on, be strong. Remember where your help comes from. And swing wide, all you heavens, let the praise go up as the walls come down. All creation, everything with breath, repeat the sound. All his children, clean hands, good hearts, good grace, good God. His name is Jesus, yeah. Swing wide, all ye heavens, let the praise go up as the walls come down. All creation, everything with breath, repeat the sound. All his children, clean hands, pure hearts, good grace, good God. His name is Jesus. Jesus, our redemption, our salvation is in his blood. Jesus, lights of heaven, friend forever, his kingdom come.
Thank you, Luke. Beautiful song. I wonder, Rob, have you got action online?
Yeah, a little bit. There's a few people that have kind of commented. Phil saying that he had a T-shirt that he had to let go of because it had become threadbare after 25 years of wearing it. I don't get that, Phil, to be honest, because I would have kept it. And Liz was saying about how you have to let your kids go off to preschool and trusting them to the care of others when they go off there as well. So, yeah,
Absolutely. So all sorts of aspects, isn't there, of letting go in our lives. So keep on communicating with Rob. If those stories have sparked a memory for you of a letting go of some kind, just pop it on the chat and we can hear about it later on. But now I'm going to go to Steve, and he is going to bring our high five and introduce quite an exciting project that we're involved in this Christmas.
Okay, thanks, Jill, very much. Yeah, I was just thinking about the letting go to preschool, but of course, as parents, there's all kinds of other letting goes that follow one after another. And parenting seems to be a lot about letting go and, if you like, releasing and giving room for our children to grow. So, the high five, and it's Advent Sunday today. Celebrated in a lot of churches, but even in kind of popular culture, Advent is a celebrated thing, isn't it? With our little chocolate calendars and so on, counting down the days to Christmas. For me, this is a particularly kind of rich time of the year. It links a bit to the theme of waiting, which you were talking about last week, Jill. That waiting, hoping, anticipating something good that's coming, something that's promised. Advent literally is about waiting for the coming of God to his people. Each year we have a little project related to Send a Cow, an organisation that works with some of the poorest parts of the world, poorest communities in the world, to give gifts that will help lift them out of poverty, but also gifts that can then be shared and passed on to others. And those gifts are really practical things like cows and sheep and chickens and goats and trees and training and education. And so it's a fabulous organisation, Send a Cow, and we partner up with them this time of the year. And typically, our children and young people and others get creative. And then whatever's created, we make available for people to take home and give donations. We then build up some cash that we can use to help fund some of those gifts that go out. I don't know if you're able at home to see on your screen some of the images that I sent in for this, but you might be able to see. I can't because I'm not looking at a screen, but absolutely, I'm giving reassurance from down below. So you're probably able to see a lovely kind of stable scene that is quite empty at the moment, which Marguerite, one of our members, has put together, which is waiting for lots of other little figures of animals and trees and other things to drink. When we get to a point where we've raised the money to buy those things, we'll keep a little count of what's happening. But you'll also see a gallery too, because our children and young people and others have been painting and drawing, and we've got all these works of art that we're going to make available that people can pick up and give a donation for. And that can be done either here in the foyer, or it can be done online, because we've sent out a PowerPoint of our gallery as well. So, and there was also a picture of, he's saying in faith, because I still can't see anything. Of course I can't, because I'm not looking at a screen. But there's some knitted key fobs, knitted by our knitting circle in the church. So we're thinking maybe a donation of £3 or more for those, and £5 or more for each of the pictures. So do get involved in our Advent Send a Cow appeal this year. Advent, then, looks towards the Christmas stories, and one of the details of the Christmas story that I most am interested in is where angels appear to people and always open with the same words. Do you know what those words are, Jill?
Fear not.
Yeah, fear not. When angels speak to mortals, there always seems to be fear not. Don't be afraid, which is perhaps hardly surprising if you're being visited by a kind of mighty angel. But that gives a little pointer to what I'm looking at this morning in the message, and that is this whole business of fear and how we overcome fear. And there's some amazing words that I'll be reading this morning from one of the books in the Bible, where God says directly to his people, "Fear not, don't be afraid, I am with you. Don't be dismayed. I am your God. I will help you. I will strengthen you. I will uphold you with my right hand. It's a direct message from God to his people. Don't be afraid. Stop being afraid, because I'm with you. But I want to look at these words, because you can hear words like that and almost kind of feel, well, that would be great, wouldn't it? To be able to move out of fear into a sense of freedom and peace. And sometimes you'd be forgiven for wondering, is it really that easy just to overcome fear? And that's what I want to really grapple with a little bit this morning in the message.
I like the sound of that. I'm looking forward to that. And I'm sure you viewing at home are keen to hear that too. I think a lot of my fear is probably around self-reliance and that idea that I need to be covering it off. I suppose that's why you posed the question that you posed, because that's about being in control, isn't it, of our lives. Have I done everything I need to do? And if I haven't, then I feel frightened. I feel I'm going to be overwhelmed.
Yeah, I think I want to explore the relationship between of letting go and overcoming fear.
Yeah.
In my little example on the rocks that I shared, there's something about trusting friends that required me to let go. So trust requires letting go of perhaps a security that I would rather cling on to. And I think there's something going on there. Usually, when we're overcoming fear, when we're responding to the God who says, fear not, there's some kind of letting go that's involved.
Yes, absolutely. I think that was letting go of my own culture in Brazil. That was the thing that's familiar, the thing that I know is the thing I'm comfortable with. And then having to look and say, actually, their culture works. And it's got strengths that the British culture doesn't have. And we benefited from them in the end, but we had to embrace something unfamiliar. Yeah. What about you, Rob? What do you think about what Steve's saying?
Well, I was thinking it was a particular comment from Adrian online. He was saying about how he had to let go of the idea of going to university. And often we can be very fearful of the expectations of others and let those hold us back. We think, oh, well, what will they think? Or they expect me to do this or to do that. So, yeah, I think that's a really tough one for people to get past and to trust God that actually they won't be judged or condemned by others, but actually are able to live in God's love in the plan that he has for them.
Cool. Any other comments from online, or is that?
That's that. I mean, another comment from Barbara saying about letting go of children at every stage and seeing them get married as well is another letting go.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, I hope that has provoked your interest. We are going to be finishing now. We've had our starter for 10, but you can, if you're local, hop in the car and come up to our 10:30 service. You'd be very welcome, and you hear a lot more from Steve about overcoming fear and what the Advent season might mean to you. You can also watch the sermon online if you're not able to come to the building. That will be live streamed round about 11 o'clock. And of course, have a look at our website, check out the other videos that are on our channel and engage. It'd be lovely to meet you if you want to come to the building, but great if you're watching stuff online. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Bye.